Welcome to AceCo Tech Talk number 3, removal, installation of Ace-Loc sleeve in planer, Moulder, and finger joint heads. The following procedure outlines the steps for changing out an Ace-Loc hydraulic sleeve. Step 1. Release any residual pressure in the cutter head by opening grease release valves. Step 2. Remove the cap screws on face of hydraulic sleeve. This process will require the use of an impact driver to loosen screws. If the screws are frozen, use heat to break down the Loctite thread locker. Step 3. Press sleeve out of cutter head using an arbor press. Use the correct size insert under the arbor press ram to equalize the pressure to avoid scratching the internal bore of the head with the existing sleeve. The cutter head can be damaged permanently during this step. Best results are achieved through a slow, measured process. Step 4. Remove old O-rings and backup rings from sleeve and discard. Step 5. Completely clean the sleeve and bore of the head with a clean shop rag to remove all residue. Take care to clean away dirt from lip and flange of sleeve near O-ring seats. Inspect O-ring seats for damage. Any nicks or pits will prove the sleeve to be unusable. Inspect the bore of the head for scratches, nicks, or pits. Step 6. Install new O-rings and backup rings on the sleeve. Be sure to use the correct size, material, and hardness of O-rings. Punanitrile O-rings of 90 durometer hardness. If sleeve requires a O-ring and backup ring, be sure to assemble in the correct order. The backup ring is in the outboard position. Step 7. Coat the bore of cutter head, new O-rings, and backup rings with clean, high-temperature grease. It is important that no foreign matter is introduced into the rebuilding process. A clean workspace is paramount to success. Step 8. Place head securely on arbor press. Insert sleeve into bore and lightly turn back and forth a few times to begin the mating process. Slowly press sleeve into cutter head. If there is any resistance, stop. Inspect to see if sleeve is being squarely pressed or if O-ring has been pinched or rolled. Lower the sleeve to the bottom of the bore. Again, turn the sleeve back and forth and resume pressing. Align the flange of the sleeve over the sleeve screw holes. Clean excess grease out of sleeve screw holes and install new cap screws using a small dab of removable Loctite thread locker on each screw. Tighten screws in diagonal torquing sequence. Tighten to 5 to 6 foot-pounds. Do not over-tighten screws. Tight screws can distort the sleeve. Step 10. AceCo recommends replacing relief valves and grease zerks as part of the rebuild process. When replacing standard 1/8 inch zerks, wrap the threads with Teflon tape, 3 complete wraps. Metric grease zerks come with O-rings and are ready for installation. Be sure to not over-tighten either the zerk or the valve. Step 11. To begin the purging process, back out the Allen head set screw in the relief valve 3 turns. Begin filling the head with grease. Allow a generous amount of grease to exit through the valve. Stop and inspect. If grease continues to flow from the valve, an air pocket remains in the void. Repeat the process until there is no longer residual flow coming through the valve. Once you are certain that all air has been purged from the system, tighten the set screw. Wipe away all excess grease left over from the assembly process, from around the fittings, around the sleeve flange, dowel holes, set screw holes, and the bottom face of the sleeve. Step 12. Inspect and measure the newly replaced sleeve. The total clearance between the spindle and the bore cannot exceed 0.03 of an inch. If the measurement puts the bore tighter than the factory sizing, it is possible that the O-ring has moved during installation and is impinging the sleeve. Step 13. It is time to pressure test the head. Place head on correct size shop arbor and close release valve. Pressure test head to upper recommended pressure value using a calibrated high pressure grease gun. You will find the specified pressure value engraved on the sleeve face. The head should grip the spindle and there should be no signs of grease leakage. Check the base of the head, around the flange, around the cap screws and dowel holes, at the grease port and release valve. Step 14. AceCo recommends that heads are dynamically balanced to 7,200 RPM on a G1 scale after installing a new sleeve. Please contact AceCo's technical staff for support. We can help you identify the correct O-ring and backup ring sizing and supply you with replacement sleeves, O-rings, backup rings, cap screws, high pressure grease guns, precision milled press inserts, and assortment of accessories to help you be successful. From all of us here in Boise, Idaho, we'd like to thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something.